All right, Haley, let's look at your paper. Emily, format first. This has got to be in Times New Roman, so I got to change that. My name deserves a space. The date should go 20 November 2016, no punctuation whatsoever. This has got to be the same size font as everything else, not bigger. And this is a weak title, so you want to change that. All right, how can a person be so self-destructible? Now, instead of jumping right into the story, because look how short this introduction is, and don't even get me started on your conclusion, you obviously need to add on to this. How can a person be so self-destructible? Just don't ask that question and move on right into the topic. Expand on it. Take another sentence or two to really expand on this concept of people who are self-destructive. Well, why are they self-destructive? What is, inherent in them that makes them that way? Think of examples from celebrities or whatever. Try to add on to that. In Shakespeare's story, no comma, Macbeth, comma, the main character, comma, Macbeth, destroys himself as a result of trying to gain power. Okay, that's fine, but this actually seems like it's getting closer to your thesis statement. Not that it would be a good thesis statement, but it's about how he destroys himself. But you haven't made that connection yet until here, that he develops paranoia, schizophrenia with the symptoms of, no comma, delusions, hallucinations, paranoia, and anhedonia. I forget how you pronounce that, which causes insanity, which leads to his tragic downfall. So you still don't have a theme, because all you can say in your body paragraphs is that he went insane. So you don't have a theme yet. But again, we look back. You have 3 sentences in a paragraph. That is not acceptable as a senior in high school, Haley. There's no way that you should be doing that. And I don't care if that means you split apart your main points into its own separate sentence, and then go on to a thesis statement. But you got a lot of work to do in that introduction to even get it close. I would expect that you should have at least another 4 sentences in there. And again, maybe that means reworking some of these sentences. So you have four symptoms that we're going to look at. The first one is delusions. The other thing that I wanted to point out too, I know this is giving you whatever, and we can ignore these. But if you're going to capitalize it, capitalize it. If you're going to lowercase it, lowercase it. But do it all the same. You got to capitalize here, lowercase here, and pretty much everywhere else. So make sure you do that. All right, delusions are a sizable factor in having paranoia, schizophrenia. You're not a strong topic sentence. You got to make a stronger topic sentence there. You do have outside stories, which is good. You have space issues here, space issues here. So you got to get rid of that. So work on that. You have examples from the story, but you say basically that think they're impassable. I think what you mean was invincible. Space issue there. So I think you meant invincible because he thinks he cannot be killed because of his apparitions. But this is the only bit afterwards that you have. No quote from the play, no explanation, and because you don't have a good thesis statement, there's not much for you to say, so that's hurting you. Another symptom will make the person believe others are plotting against them. This is still delusions, though, I hope, right? For example, Macbeth convinced himself that Banquo knows that he executed Duncan. Okay. Banquo is suspicious of Macbeth. Macbeth is not suspicious of Banquo. In fact, the only reason he wants Banquo gone is because of the prophecy with the kids. So he doesn't think Macbeth doesn't think he thinks he killed Duncan. And I'm not sure why, but it's more than just you that felt this way about the story. So that's incorrect. And this is kind of a run-on sentence here, because your sentence is from here all the way to here, which you can have a longer sentence, but you have about 3 or 4 different ideas in here. So you break that apart. Having delusions leads to Macbeth's hallucinations. So you're trying to have a transition, which is good. I wish it would extend a little bit, be a little bit longer, a little bit more involved. All right, so this is a better thesis statement. It makes him appear as a lunatic to those around him. I like that. Instead of just saying another symptom is hallucinations, You're saying what the hallucinations do. So this is a good topic sentence. No comma here. You do have outside sources, which is good. This one, I would think that you need an outside source as well. I'm pretty sure you had to look that up. What other factors is part of hallucinations? But here's what I'm saying again. So you say, all right, hallucinations make you do this. One sentence, this is what happens in the play. Then I jump to another part, and then I have, what, 2 sentences that are backing that up. And then I jump into my transition statement. So you're not really taking any time to dwell on it, to think about it, to tie it into the greater theme of the play and what you're trying to present, which again, you don't have one because you don't have a good thesis. So certainly there needs to be some additional information in here. This is an okay topic sentence. Again, I want you to be more specific with maybe just not just self-destruction, but something else as we get into paranoia. So we go back to a plain old topic sentence that does nothing for us, so fix that. All right, paranoia by delusions of persecution, which I think this fits well with Macbeth. Suspicious and mistrusted people, so that's good. All right, again, we get into this false statement. He does not know that Banquo thinks he murdered Duncan. All right, another display of this is when he is convinced that Banquo is plotting against him to put his children in position to become king. Now, I don't know. I think it'd be hard-pressed to say that Banquo is plotting against him. He's upset with Banquo because his kids are supposed to become king. So he wants to do something about it so that his kids never become king, and that means getting rid of him and his sons. So I don't know if that's really true to say that he thinks Banquo was plotting against him. He just knows that Banquo was a liability, and he's trying to wrap up all those loose ends. We have another plain transitional statement that does nothing for us. So again, add on, tie it to a thesis, all those things that we've already been talking about. All right, anhedonia. No comma there. Remember, you need comma conjunction. We have 2 complete sentences. This is not a complete sentence, so no comma there. Not specific enough either that has a broad impact. So this makes sense, and this makes sense with his wife for sure. This space issue, I don't think it's true at all. He's unable to enjoy anything. What do you mean by that? Like, at first he's like really upset, but basically right after that scene he kills the guards, the bodyguards, and then he's king. So I don't know how you can make that case that he's unable to enjoy anything. Is there a quote from the play that backs that up? When Macbeth is in front of his wife, Lady Macbeth, capitalize, comma, had passed away. This is a run-on sentence. He did not show a sign of remorse. And again, we'd want to see you tie it into a thesis statement. This is a weak ending statement that you'd want to fix. So here's the infamous conclusion paragraph, which is actually a conclusion sentence. So you're missing about 5 or 6 sentences in here. And basically all you did was repeat the thesis statement. You don't go over the main points, nothing else. So we are only at the bottom of the second page, which we obviously need to add on to. So your works cited page is correct. So that's all done. It's in alphabetical order, so that's good. So kudos to you on that. But you have a lot of work everywhere else, Haley Held. So I am looking forward to seeing your next draft.